A lot of video game companies make a habit of just throwing random left field announcements at us all the time. Look at like Nintendo, like it's a really regular thing. But they have a lot of stuff to announce. They're always putting out new products. Valve is not generally that way. They don't they don't release a very high number of video games, so it feels a little bit more impactful and surprising when they give us just a random bombshell announcement drop on a Wednesday. Just, a Wednesday. Just a couple of hours ago, at the time of this recording, they uploaded a 6-minute long video just called Steam Hardware Announcement, and in it they announced 3 new pieces of Steam hardware. The first was a brand new version of the Steam controller. This one is the least interesting to me personally. I don't really have much of a desire for this kind of thing, but I know there are some people who are pretty big fans of the overall form factor. And, then they released the Steam Deck, and they had kind of upgraded the trackpads and everything. So now it totally makes sense to give us a new version of that with a lot of that tech and probably even more advanced and like capacitive sensors on it and all this stuff. I mean, it does look pretty cool. And, they have been striving for years now to create a controller that you can use to play games that are not necessarily made for a controller. Like the trackpads to kind of emulate mouse movement and whatnot. So it is cool. The most interesting thing about this to me is the little like wireless dongle. Like you plug it into whatever to connect the controller, but then that dongle itself like fits into the controller to charge it. It's a very Nintendo thing. It's just kind of like fun and snappy, and they call it the puck. They give it like a cute little name. So I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, let's get into the real meat of it here. They also announced a new Steam machine. And, the thing about Valve, they're really huge. They make a lot of money. Steam is their marketplace. They make a lot of money from people purchasing games on Steam, so they're not like Nintendo. They don't need to sell you exclusive software or anything. They just want to give you some kind of a box to play Steam games on. And it's like, if anyone could give us a PC that is the most like a console, it would be Valve, because like they could produce, because that's the whole thing about a console. You generally get a lot more bang for your buck with a console because, Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft can produce so many units of just like this one piece of tech here that they can save money on manufacturing and offer pretty good power for a pretty good price. Pre-built gaming PCs can offer a pretty decent value, or you can build a PC yourself, but like for the most part, consoles are a lot cheaper. So yeah, there's always been this idea that like if any like PC gaming company could give us a pre-built PC with like the same specs, maybe like 1 or 2 SKUs, all of the power and flexibility of a PC, but the simplicity and convenience of a console, if anyone could do that, it would be Valve, because they simply make enough money to do that. And like 10 years ago, they were experimenting with this, but I kept being like, all right, when is Valve's console? When it basically console PC, when is it going to come out? And they did sort of, but like every time they did it, it was always like a collaboration with Alienware, and it came in with a bunch of SKUs, and it didn't really work out very well. And then when the Steam Deck came around, that really was, essentially that is what they did. It's just that they went handheld with it. So of course the power was a lot lower, but it was still very convenient and very flexible. So in a lot of ways, the Steam Deck was that. It was just a lower power handheld. But now, after all of these years, after so long, in the year 2025, they're finally doing it. It took literally a decade, just kind of been waiting for this. They're finally doing it. They have revealed this new Steam machine, and it's exactly what I feel like I've been waiting for. That's not to say that I'm like personally super invested in PC gaming and hardware, tech, and all that stuff, but more just kind of like as an interested bystander, as someone who takes an interest in the industry. I've been waiting for them to do this and do it this way, not an Alienware, not with a bunch of SKUs, just like a good solid little box. And I love everything about this. I love the form factor. I love how yeah, everyone's calling it the Gabe Cube. Very funny. It really does just look like an Xbox Series X chopped in half. I love that. But yeah, it's just a really, really nice little cube. And of course, you know, it'll run Steam and have, it's a PC. That's what's cool about it. It's got the size and the form factor of a PC and all the flexibility, but then it's little like a console. And you know, one really great thing about the Steam Deck is it gave you like sleep and wake options, and that seems like it would be a very small thing. And yet I don't know. That's what's so great about a console. You just walk up to it and you turn it on and then you're playing video games. A PC is like, it's a whole entire thing. It takes entire extra moments to play games on a PC. Who's got that kind of time? So that was really great about the Steam Deck, but now you get that in this really easy sleep and wake little thing. And you know, it's going to depend on the price, but I am pretty attracted to this thing because I want to stream more, but I feel like I may end up wanting to like kind of move around where I do it. It may depend on like the room, but like moving, like this PC here, the case is massive. It's just like, it's way too big. I would not want to move this thing around. But for anyone interested in just a slightly more portable, I say slightly, it's actually really quite small, just much easier to move around, very small form factor. So really wherever you are, you can just kind of have it with you. Apparently it's very quiet. I like that too. So it's very small and it's very quiet, and it's not going to be the most powerful PC in the world. But you know, it's several times more powerful than a Steam Deck, and the Steam Deck is already pretty darn capable. And it says it is capable of 4K 60 FPS output. It's not going to be able to run like the nicest games at those settings, but it is possible. So it sounds like it's decently powerful, and it's got all of that convenience of a console. And I just think that's really neat. And I don't know, there may be a reality where I decide that this little thing would work for me. If I ever want to stream anywhere that is not exactly right here where my PC is, then this is going to be perfect. And, you know, it's going to be a lot quieter than my PC, that's for sure. And then for anybody who just even wants a little, like, I mean, I've met plenty of people who just, they'll have an extra little PC as like just their media box or whatever. The one that sits next to the TV, whereas like the real rig is in the office. It's just perfect for that. And they have not given us the price. That's the thing. It's really gonna, that's gonna matter. It's gonna really matter a lot. But I do just think it's cool. It's a very attractive little value proposition, as long as the price isn't too high. I think it's really neat. I mean, yeah, like I've talked about it plenty, but like I don't game on PC very much. I don't like all of the configuring and troubleshooting that comes along with it. Like, you know, plenty of people are fine with that. They're a lot smarter and more patient than I am. But I love my Steam Deck because you have PC gaming, but you wrap it up in a console-like simple experience. That's awesome. But then somehow, despite how very interesting I find the whole Steam Machine thing, their third hardware announcement is the coolest of all. I didn't know if and when they were going to give us new VR hardware. The Valve Index came out quite a few years ago by now. And, you know, VR gaming itself has really not blown up. It's kind of stalled a little bit. So I wasn't sure, but they have done it, and they redesigned the heck out of this thing. This is the Steam Frame, and I'm watching like first impressions videos, you know, from people who were given early access, and like the early impressions are very, very, very positive. It seems this may actually be a disruptive product in the VR space. It seems to kind of be the best of all worlds, you know? Because I have a Valve Index, and Steam Index, whatever, and I really don't use it that much, honestly, because like the sensors are a pain. There's no good place to put them. They make a super loud whining noise. It's really, so like I haven't used it nearly as much as I have wanted to. And you know, you gotta have it, again, like I've gotta have it hooked to this PC right here, this big thing right here in this room. But this is one of those ones where it is a dedicated machine. You know, it doesn't have to hook into anything. It can play games right off of itself. So you are free from all wires. You don't have to have sensors because it's got cameras on the outside that track where you are. You can even do it in a dark room. That's because it uses like infrared or something. That's really cool. So it's like all of these, like the Oculus, all these very lightweight and simple ones that we've been seeing, but with the tracking and the retina tracking, it can see where your eyes are looking that we saw on the PSVR. So yeah, again, like this is kind of like this is like the best. It seems to be like the best possible VR headset that we have seen, and it's like super duper small because yeah, the Index is really big. This one is really small. Looks way more comfortable. And at first I was like, oh, I mean, that does look cool, but the problem with these like smaller untethered sets is like, obviously you're not gonna get as much power right there in the thing itself. It can't be that powerful if it's that small. But it sounds like this thing is decently capable all by itself, so that's good. But then I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, but it's still not gonna be the same, right? Okay, well, you can stream this from your actual PC. So the game is running on the PC, but then streaming the image to your headset. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but like there's gonna be latency, and I really don't want any latency at all. Oh, but guess what? According to people who have gotten their hands on the thing, apparently it's like really ridiculously good at streaming from pretty much anything with like almost no discernible latency. And this is not something that like any other company has been able to achieve. Not even like the humongous tech companies like Meta have just spent like billions of dollars on this stuff. Like even they have not been able to produce a headset that streams with such low latency. And yeah, I don't know, they've kind of figured it out, and they even have like a little receiver that you can just kind of like a little USB receiver you can plug into whatever, including your Steam machine. So that's cool. Now you have this really lightweight little VR headset that you can plug into your lightweight little Steam console, which is really neat. And I'm like, okay, sure. But even then, there's gotta be a hit to like the quality or whatever, right? Okay, but here's like another thing. It can do this thing where since it can see where you are looking, it can render the image at a higher resolution, exactly where your eyes are pointed, and lower the resolution everywhere else around that to save on hardware power and give you a much clearer image. This is something that has apparently been done before. I think there are even a couple of PlayStation VR titles that use it, but the problem there is when you're doing it like, I hope I'm not mistaken with any of this. This is the way that I understand it. If you're doing this hardware side, then that's something that the developers of the software have to build right into it. But this is accomplishing it like through the stream coming into the headset. So like the system itself is able to do this with basically anything. And since it's only doing it with an image, it's able to do it really quickly and really well and really accurately. And yeah, like, and then I'm like, okay, well, like it can't possibly be that quick, right? Like what if you dash your eyes all around? If it's not literally perfect, then it will be 100% worthless. But no, again, according to early reports, it's like perfect. It just works like perfectly. So yeah, so again, we don't know what price this thing is going to be, but it's another thing where it's like, I wasn't really like on the market for a new VR headset. I like VR, and I have like sort of considered getting one of like the, you know, the cable free ones just because it's just so much easier to play. Like hooking everything up, it really is a humongous barrier for me. It's just like, I haven't played the darn thing in years. But something that I could just put on and start playing. And apparently like everything just works really super well and it streams perfectly, and I don't know. It sounds cool. Like I don't have the money to spend on a new VR headset right now, but I'm looking at this little Steam machine, I'm looking at this this frame, and they look really cool. the frame in particular, because yeah, I mean, I do have a big list of VR games I have been wanting to play. I like VR. I think it's really, really cool. So yeah, I don't know. I guess that's everything, but it's just amazing that Valve dropped all of this all at the same time, and then that the frame looks so good. It just looks really incredibly good. It may end up being the best VR headset that money can buy. It just seems to be just perfect in like every way. So yeah, again, the price is definitely gonna matter. And you know, I imagine with where the economic climate and hardware manufacturing and everything is right now, it's not gonna be like super duper cheap. I mean, even like the Oculus, they've raised the price over the last few years. So yeah, it's not gonna be dirt cheap or anything. But at the very least, it could end up being a really great set, and I'm pretty curious to see how all of this is going to shake out, what the prices are going to be. My voice is cracking. I've recorded a lot of videos today. And all these products are coming early 2026, so while we wait for them, we can just say, thank you, Gabe. You have blessed us on this Merry Wednesday.